Hello, everyone. My name is Charmin Horwood. I am here to talk to you today about my book, The Lake Dragons. It's available on Amazon, both as paperback and as Kindle, and as hardcover if you're that way inclined. I thought I'd talk to you today a little bit about what the novel is about and read to you the prologue. It is about a young girl. She's 12 years old, and she lives on the shores of Kootenay Lake. She's very much, she's a single child and lives with her mother, Saskia. I often pronounce that wrong, but that's the way it's pronounced, and calls her Sash. She's swimming one day, and she meets a dragon, a young dragon, who is also alone and cannot find his adults of his clan, and he wants her help. But there are other forces at work in the novel. Her uncle came back from Afghanistan after serving in the war there, and he is changed, and something's not good in him. In fact, it might not be her uncle at all. Anyway, to start it off, the prologue. Old bones, old power, ancient magic. Rotting fury with stone, soil, sunlight, and moon. Energy echoes through rock and root. It throbs in every branch and stem of life. For millennia, this power endured, undisturbed, threading through the stone of lake and valley. It is a force that binds all in an enduring peace. One day, powerful malice catapults out of the clouds, plummeting into the valley, striking harder than lightning or fire. Its will is to conquer and to control. Its malevolence is power, its magic dire. It hurtles through the valley. It strikes through everything, where mountains meet the lake, where stone joins with soil, binding earth to sky. Creates magic that seeps through the stone, under the water. The roots of the mountains tremble. One of them cracks. Old rock splits and falls. In Soul House, where Anya lives, the grandfather clock abruptly hiccups. Its pendulum is distressed for a moment by the bedrock's tremor. After that, the sentinel cannot track time as it did. With each passing hour, the malice pushes its power ever forward, somehow stuttering, pervading this valley's world. The lake's waves settle, its deep bed quiet again. The mountains rock less, the stone calming into rigid forms. But all is not what it once was. Thank you. I hope you enjoy that. It's just a taste of the harder elements in this novel. I can read to you the first chapter, or the beginning of the first chapter, that talks about when she meets her new friend. Today was like many other August days on Kootenay Lake. Beautiful sunlight cupped in the tree leaves, reflecting the sky as if it was a blue liquid caught inside the bowl of the leaf. The same light glittered on the waves and ripples like daylight stars. On this day, something else woke Anya. A cold weight laying heavy on her legs, it pinned them against the hard stones. She twisted under the weight, holding her down. "Ouch!" she muttered crossly. A couple of rock edges dug into her legs as she pulled away, scraping her skin. She shivered, not with pain, but with the coldness of what had sucked away the sun's warmth. For a second, she thought the weight was her dog, Luckless. They named the dog Luckless because Luckless was always chasing things and unfortunately catching them, particularly when they're skunks. It certainly smelled like him. Wet dog, not her favorite odor. He's gone into the lake again and stretched out on my legs to warm up. That would be just like Luckless. She blinked, but she couldn't see. Her eyelashes were crusted from the sunlight, from the water. The sunlight bounced off the waves like glass, the glare blinding. She couldn't see. She rubbed one hand across her face, still trying to shift her legs. She rapidly flicked her eyelids open and shut. Nictitating, she told herself, like a reptile or bird with their other eyelid. She tried to sit up, to shift Luckless off her legs. He was like a snake warming itself after a cold day in the water. The grime came away. She sat up to shove him off. Anya's throat went dry. She shivered. Don't scare it, she told herself. The head was enormous, as long as her shins, and she could see big teeth, sharp as knives, curving up out of its bottom jaw. She knew not to frighten a wild animal, even reptiles, or whatever this was, but her skin turned to ice. Goosebumps shivered up her arms. Spikes rose along the back of the creature's head in two parallel crests. Smaller ones stretched back from its neck and ran to join over its spine, where they continued in a single long line down its back. It went all the way along it to splay out into a tail that lay draped across the stones and into the water. Not a snake, she realized. Scaled like a snake, bigger. It also had two wings firmly tucked against its sides. Not a snake, her thoughts screamed at her. It twitched, blinked again, and rose. She tried not to think of teeth and claws. She screamed. The sound caught in her throat. In a lazy roll, the creature turned away towards the lake, uncoiling. It slid back towards the water. In seconds, it was gone. Anya wasn't afraid. Shocked, yes, but it had gone too fast for fear to take root. The creature had left her, and she would swear it wasn't afraid either. So quickly and so calmly, the encounter over. She wasn't entirely sure it hadn't been a dream. Beautiful and wild, she thought, her breath stopped by a dry tongue. The creature was like the forest and the stones, as if they'd come alive and spread wings. Kootenay Lake is deep and old. Mountain snows feed it with meltwater in the spring that roared down the creeks. The dragon had disappeared into that vast deepness like it belonged there, into the cold and its darkness. A dragon. She bent and sniffed her shins where its head had lain. Yes, a voice shouted in her. Anya has always liked the thought of dragons. And that's where the novel takes off. I hope you're interested. And like I say, you can find it on Amazon. Here's the cover again. And have a good day, everybody. Bye.